What's up, guys? First week of training of the new year, and had snatches on the menu to start off, but the gym was really busy. So I started off with some barbell Spoto presses first. So it's going to be kind of curious how the snatches went after doing some hard sets of Spoto press. But the Spoto press went really well. Was able to build up to 335 for a really solid set of 5, and then collect some nice volume around that. So really happy there. And yeah, this 335 for 5 is super solid. I think this is a personal best here. And then just followed that up with 320 for 5. And then wanted to leave a little bit in the tank, which is why I only did 5, but felt pretty solid. So the last set, I sent it and went for 6 here. So really happy with the control, with the pause. That's all about what Spoto is for, really building lat and chest strength, especially at the bottom. And these feel super, super solid. I like these as my main chest hypertrophy movement. But then finished that up, actually got to go over back to some snatches and started off with some primers, the muscle snatch and the no foot hang snatch. And I think after Spoto press, these were kind of already a little bit warmed up, but I wanted to make sure the chest wasn't too tight. And the main goal with these this week really was to kind of look at what I did the last few weeks and establish a little bit better medium in between. Last week I had gone up to, I think, around like 190 here, and it was a little bit uglier than I wanted it to be. So I found that the sweet spot for me right now is going to be 175, 180, and I'm going to try to get more and more reps and sets in there for a little while. The primer, these primers specifically, again, are always designed to carry over to the snatches. So if they get a little bit too heavy, you stop getting the main goal out of them. With these, the muscle snatch is focused on full extension, and then with the no foot hang snatch, it's taking that full extension and getting underneath it quickly. So that's kind of the main goal here. I also find that no foot snatches feel really good for me on my knees. Make sure that I just kind of consistently find my squat position really well, and just doesn't irritate anything, so I like that. Then moved up to the snatches. If you remember last week, I made that big jump from, I think, around 215 straight to 230, and then had to reset and go back for it again. So the goal with these snatches this week was really just to find that medium spot and build from there, which is going to be around that 215 to 225. So I was pretty pleasantly surprised with how these went. This was like the sweet spot. The intensity I hit with my primers and what allowed me to hit on my main snatch work for the day, was really happy there. You may notice it says like 6x2, medium to heavy. So I take these by feel. It's definitely going to be a few sets here at least, between 3 and 6. And if I can get up to 6 sets of 2 and they all feel really consistent and my body's recovering well, then I'll do that. But if I feel like I notice something on like the last set where it's like adding a little bit more fatigue, getting a little sloppier, that's when I'll cut it. After finishing up snatches, I was pretty happy with them. Moved on to front squats, and this was a medium session day, so I was building up in sets of 3 to 6 at kind of RPE 7 to 8 depending on the set. First couple sets were pretty easy, then moved up to 295 and finished with 270. Right now these, are not near my personal best quite yet. No knee sleeves, no belt, really just finding a base and chipping away. And that's my main goal with my movements right now. Like bench press feels really strong, and so I'm pushing that the most. Everything else I'm just slowly building up, and I know that if I can make it through 4 to 8, 12, 16 weeks of training, that I'm going to be stronger in the end. So I really just focus on longevity there and not rushing anything today that doesn't need to be rushed. So happy with these front squats, everything felt good. Finished with some accessories, and here's Pendlay rows. And same thing with Pendlay rows, and just chipping away, adding a couple reps here and there. Machine leg curls, dumbbell bicep curls, and then finished with rowing at the end of the session. Overall, first session of the week felt better than last first session of the week, so really happy there. Moved into day 2 of the week and started with some barbell sumo deadlifts. Same approach as my kind of squats in the moment. I'm just building a base. These are not necessarily near my personal best. So I'm just going to be focusing on position, focusing on adding a little bit of reps or weight each session over the course of 12 to 16 weeks, and should be hitting some nice weights at the end of it. I'm not going to peak these for a little while, so my goal would be basically in about 12 weeks or so, be in this 4 to 6 rep range, and maybe be hitting 585, maybe up to 600 in the 4 rep range. So that's kind of the goal, and then we'll see what the goal is next and hit some peaking after that. So this was the 418 for 5. Again, nothing feels super crisp. Very varied training, so it's nothing is very specified, and then that tends to leave you no movement feeling peaked, right? But I'm in the rep range of 4 to 6. I'm just trying to build muscle mass and strength right now, so really happy. These are supposed to be some light low bar squats, and kind of made a jump here. This is still in the light range, but a little heavier than I kind of expected, and it felt super solid. So I'm happy that this is my light day. Again, I'm gonna cap this at around 65% of my max once I kind of get it up a little bit higher, and this is the super conservative day. So with 308 feeling really smooth, super happy with that. Had a little bit of, again, not so much time this session, so all I did was those 2 movements and skipped out on a couple accessories. And if I have more time at the end of the week, that's when I kind of throw them in there. Day 3 here, back to some bench. This is my kind of bread and butter competition bench, and it went really well. So again, bench is going super well right now. Did a little warm-up set of 315 and then moved on to 350, and this was 375 for 2, and moved really well. I think my best 2 rep max is 385, so it's only 10 pounds off, so should be there probably in the next few weeks, beating that for sure. Finished up with just a bit more moderate volume, 345 and 335, and just really crisp reps. None of them quite to failure, all leaving a tiny bit in the tank, but none easy as well. I like that because it allows every rep to look really good, focus on consistency, and allow me to build momentum into the next week. After that, moved on to some high bar squats. This was my heavy day, so I was looking at kind of previous high bar squat sessions and just trying to chip away and add a little bit of reps and or weight there. So I think my previous was like 375 for 2 or 3 last week, so went up to 385 for 2 here, and just wanted to chip away, lift about 10 pounds heavier, and it went pretty good. Felt good on the hips, knees, back, everything felt really solid. Just took my time, and then finished with a little bit of a lighter back offset at 345 for 2 here, or sorry, 345 for 3. And when I'm already in my squat shoes, I'll finish in them. But if I'm not in the squat shoes, I've been preferring flats a little bit lately, just to work on a little bit more hip dominant squats, and I find that my recovery for my knees is a little bit better. So after that, session for the week, back to some snatches. Here's some snatch primers. We do some snatch high pulls, then that's in a complex snatch high pull, dip power snatch, and some drop snatches. So similar aspects of kind of what I'm focusing on earlier in the week, which is full extension of the quads, hips, but then I add some drop snatches in here so that I can focus on dropping into the bottom snatch position a little bit more. That's kind of like a secondary emphasis that I'm focusing on with my snatches. And again, finding that medium spot, so like right around 165, 75 is a good spot. That one I was supposed to do just a dip power snatch, a single, and I accidentally did a full snatch, so I decided to just do one more because it felt pretty good. And then back into some drop snatches. Drop snatches are always a mental game for sure. Moved on to snatches every minute on the minute. Here, I'll rewind that real quick. So moved on to snatches every minute on the minute, and did these for 6 minutes. and finished with, I think, around 215-ish, which is pretty solid for the every minute on the minute work. Again, that's really rushed rest periods. Yeah, 215. So this was super good. Got 2 sets at the 215. Felt good. Forgive the picture on this one. Got a bunch of chalk on it, but moved on to clean and jerks every minute on the minute. Did 5 rounds, 5 minutes, and got up to 285 early on, and was able to sustain that for 3 rounds, which is pretty good. Again, kind of keep talking about the every minute on the minute for squats or for clean and jerks is kind of brutal because that's heavy work and you only get about 20-30 seconds of rest in between. Moved on to some banded deadlifts here, 6x3, again every minute on the minute, and these got brutal very quickly. Kind of go back here for a brief moment. You could tell what day the year it is. It's the first day of January, and that means there's going to be a lot more people in the gym. So it's a gym, not a studio, but had a bunch of people kind of walking 2 feet away from the platform. I don't mind if someone walks in front of a camera. Again, like it's a gym, not a studio. But when people are lifting heavy and you're walking 2 inches in front of them, it's not always smart, but is what it is. Again, this band this week was a little bit too much tension. I think I'll go down to maybe a purple band next week. What I noticed here is that the tension climbed extremely high near the top, of course, but this just made grip and lower back kind of work a little bit more, and I wasn't able to get up to as much bar weight as I wanted to. So I think I'll go purple band and see if I can get up to a little more bar weight. Again, after that, finished with some light front squats. And the previous light front squat day, I think I did a couple sets at 235. So I wanted to kind of chip away, but again, this one is a light session, so it's supposed to be super conservative on it. And went 195, went 245 here, and it moved super well, but it wasn't as light as I wanted it to be. So with the gym closing in about 12 minutes because of the holiday, I decided to kind of call it there. Last session of the week, and started with some banded bench press. These are also every minute on the minute. Did 7 sets of 3 here, and let's see. And these felt really solid. I mean, it wasn't perfect. I was trying to find like where am I at again, because this is like I've done this several weeks in a row now, and wanted to find the sweet spot. So I missed the triple on a couple of those sets. So going forward, I'll have a little bit of a better idea of what weights to select. But 300 for 2 was not bad. Decided to sub in a full clean jerk session with just a split jerk session. This allows a little bit better recovery for me, and that way I get 2 sessions in the week that are doing the split jerk and a little more practice there. So these felt pretty solid. 275, 295, and that was 315. Finished with 335. I felt a little heavier than I wanted it to be. I think the most I've split jerk out of the rack is 350. So not too bad, not too far off, but didn't feel light for sure. So that's the week, and then this is the upcoming week ahead. So excited for what's next, and I'm actually going to be repeating the same kind of week over again this following week, which will now I have a better idea on how kind of each of these sessions went, and I know what to focus on. So overall, really solid. Recovery's going well, and I'm going to keep building momentum.